Yes, everybody, thank you for watching again. And here we are again with my babe. What we're going to talk about today is running costs of an Astra VXR. I'm just going to try and give you my experiences from how much it costs to own an Astra VXR. So sit tight and hold on, and I'm going to explain very shortly. So hopefully you guys can hear what I'm trying to explain. So initially, you've got with any car, it's obviously buying the car. My car's got 80,000 miles, full service history. Only problem it had was the cam cover was leaking oil when I bought it. So I took a risk on that. Hopefully it weren't the turbo. So yeah, after doing all that, it's all paid off because the car, touch wood, drives like a dream. So let's try and explain the fundamentals of what it costs to own one of these. Firstly, buying the car, I paid £6,000 for my car nearly 2 years ago. I bought it in December 2016. So it's 2 years ago now, and it has been decent, to be fair. Obviously cars depreciate depending on what you buy. This car valued at the minute, I think roughly, for a bad quality one, you're talking three and a half grand to 4.5 grand. Some people want 5, but some people are dreaming and stuff. Obviously I've got like front bumper needs spraying and stuff like that, so some people are a bit funny with stuff like that. So I paid £6,000 for my car, so when you compare it to like a new Focus RS or stuff like that, then it's really expensive, but it's not that bad really. Sorry about this, I've kind of like gone to the top of a car park in the middle of nowhere, and for some reason someone's just like decided to park up the top. Looks a bit, obviously I'm videoing, so I know I'm all good, but just sitting in the car looking at me like that, so God knows what he's up to. So anywhere between 3.5 grand to 6 grand, I'd say. You could probably get a Nürburgring for about 7, 8, but that depends on what one you want. Because this is an Arden, they're not as rare, so you can pick these up fairly cheap. Let me just move that a bit. So secondly, number 2 is insurance of the car. This can vary, obviously dependent on where you live, your age, and your no claims and stuff. For my car at the moment, I'm 25 with 5 years no claims, and I pay £750 for this, so which isn't too bad really. When I first started getting into performance cars, the most I ever paid was £3,000, so that is quite costly. But it's up to you whether you throw it all on a credit card and pay your insurance off in one, or pay your insurance off in one, or pay monthly, because you don't want to get a car like that on a loan and then get your insurance monthly and then your tax monthly, because it all adds up and then it can get very expensive. So secondly is tax. Tax, I think it's £26 a month to tax the car, which isn't too bad really. Obviously the GTR's I think GTR's like £50 a month, so that's a gas guzzler as well, so that's a different story. The only other thing I can say really is when you're driving it and putting juice in, roughly a tenner probably get me 50 miles, 20 quid, 100, 120, something like that. Obviously that's dependent on how you drive it. If you've got a big juicy air filter and an exhaust, you're obviously going to be putting your foot down, so it's going to be a lot more expensive. So what I'll do is I'll just give you a little run through on little bits and bobs that could pop up and how much it potentially cost you, so we'll get to it. Let's open the bonnet. Oh, there you are. So this is like, it's up to you, kind of personal preference on based on what you want. You can either spend a lot more or a lot cheaper. This is all dependent on you and how you want to modify your car, but this is how I would do it and what I've actually done so far. So I'll try and show you how I've actually done it. So basically, looking at looking at the engine bay at the moment, nothing has really been done to it, to be honest. I've got this on at the moment, which I don't really like anymore, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this crossover delete and change the air filter and change this. So what I'm looking for is like a blacked out kind of engine bay. So this is a crossover delete. Normally on the standard ones it comes off the turbo, goes over here, and then there'll be a little thing that sits onto that, and then it goes across here into a box. That's what we've done. We've got rid of that and put it there. So this normally can cost around 100 to 150 pounds depending on your air filter. So it just literally goes pipe off here onto there. So that's about 150 pounds. Normally what they do, they don't give you the wire, so you have to buy the extension wire. So you just basically plug that in and then plug it down to the MAF, which is down there. Secondly, the seal that sits between there, which you can see just there, that normally leaks on these, which can be a common problem, but it's really not that bad of an issue. I think I paid around 30 to 40 pounds to replace that. All you do, undo the top, put it off, clean it, and then put the new seal down, so it's not even that difficult. So your top hat is there, so you can get an enlarged top hat, which is that, and then it goes onto that to there. You can pay anywhere between 100 to 200 pounds for a new one of those. Intercooler pipe, which goes off there, down there, and then it sits just down there. Really, upside down. Really, for one of those, you're talking anywhere from like 200 pound to even 600 pound. You can get the AirTech gobstoppers. Don't get me wrong, if money was unlimited, I'd have an AirTech gobstopper, but the fact that I couldn't justify it, I'd obviously go with the cheaper one. Obviously, please don't hate, because obviously people want the best, and I would have the best if it wasn't so expensive. So that's pretty much the engine bay done. Oh, and you've got the turbo. The turbos do fail on those as well, so the turbo, you could be talking anywhere from 500 quid to £1,000. I think they're about 750, so I'm not sure on fitting, so I don't think fitting will be that hard either, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then secondly, you've got the actuator. People upgrade the actuator, which is that there, which goes onto the turbo. You could pay anywhere from, I'd say, 100 to 150 pounds. People normally get the Forge one or the Turbo Smart. Next, we can't really see it. We can't actually see it at the moment, but because it's hidden under the crossover delete. It's a reset valve. Yet again, you can either get Turbo Smart or a Forge actuator, Forge reset valve, sorry. So it's either of those two which people normally go for, or you can get an eBay blanking one. I think they're only about 30-40 quid. Like I say, I've never used one, so comment down below if you've used one and if they're any good, because I've never tried it. And then really all you got is your coolant hoses. You can just swap the coolant hoses, the breather pipe, and just all the auxiliary cables. So I think that would definitely be worth doing. The headlights, you can purchase the AFL headlights. Push that back in. The AFL headlights, they can be put on. A splitter, even a nice little splitter. I do want a splitter that comes all the way across. Maybe some canards across there. What do you think? Do you think that'd look well? I think it'd look nice, to be honest. Secondly, really important, is brakes. Our brakes are not the best at the moment, so they will need replacing like ASAP. One of the next mods I'll probably do, to be honest. I hope you can hear me because there's aeroplanes and everything. So obviously what you've got next is brakes. This is all dependent on what brand you want to use, but you can get front and back disc brakes and pads for around £200. I think that's where the ballpark is, to be honest. Obviously if you want to get case bolts and stuff like that for the front, then you're talking like £1,000 plus, but for just day-to-day use and that, I think you're best off going with, like, is it EBC I believe, so that's probably what I'd recommend. And then you've got in between there, which you can't see, which is lowering springs, coilovers. You could spend anywhere between £100 to £200 for lowering springs, or you could spend £300 to £1,000 on coilover. It's completely up to you. You could get Bilstein, I think it's B12 or B14 coilovers, which is what everyone recommends because they are supposed to be the duck's nuts. Bloody hell, just getting loads of people come up here for some reason. This must be the spot to check out planes. Ignore that, because who wants to video planes really? Then you got tyres, same again. At the minute I've got absolute budgets, so they are Vantage. They are called Bottos, whatever they are, never heard of them, but because the car's standard, I didn't see the point in putting expensive tyres. They do the job, to be honest, so there's no point getting expensive tyres unless you're going for big power, which is my opinion anyway. So obviously I'd love to get some Toyo Tier Triple R8s or 88 AORs or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on what they're actually called, but I think they're Nankang NSR2s or something like that. And then obviously my wheels, they're aftermarket Bowler B1s if anyone likes them. What else have we got really? Obviously there's some pads. Lights, you can upgrade some DNA lights, which are like an LED bar that goes through them. They are really nice. They're about £200. And then you've got the exhaust. Exhaust, you can pay anything between, I'd say, so the exhaust starts there. Exhaust, I honestly paid £100 for my exhaust. It's got the pre-cat, then pretty much straight pipe, and then the back box has got one silencer. I paid £100 for my exhaust and it sounds incredible, but people could pay up to like £1,200 to £1,300 for their exhaust, like a 3-inch Piper back box, Remus, Cobra, Miltech. Mine's a Zhongying, probably some Chinese exhaust, but I don't care because it sounds unreal. Obviously the proof's in the pudding when we put it on the dyno, so we shall see what we make. Other than that really, I don't think there's anything else, so that's all for this video. Hope this helps anyone that's looking to buy a VXR, and if any of your friends are, please share, like, subscribe, do all the goodness. So thanks a lot.